So Palace got us underway, winning at Leicester by 3-0. 7 unbeaten now, Crystal Palace, for the first time in the Premier League. The Gunners with an Mesut Ozil stunner, beating Newcastle United 1-0. No goals at Brighton, where Burnley visited. Chelsea 1, Saints 0. Stoke 0, West Ham United 3 it was. Watford 1, Huddersfield Town 4, Manchester City 4, Tottenham Hotspur 1. So Swansea are rock bottom right now. West Brom and Newcastle, the other two in the drop zone, also falling today. Stoke into trouble. If the Baggies get something tomorrow, win tomorrow, then Stoke go into the bottom 3. Bournemouth falling. West Ham and Palace 15th and 14th respectively now. Saints and Huddersfield changing places today. No change for Brighton. Everton yet to play this weekend. Watford, Leicester, Spurs 7th now, down on the weekend. Liverpool have given up 5th at the moment, but have a chance, of course, to remedy that as Burnley take 5th. Arsenal have 4th. Top 3, Chelsea, Manchester United, and of course Manchester City, 52 points from 18 played now. West Brom play United tomorrow. We were just saying here, watching that City game, it'll be interesting to see how Manchester United react to that tomorrow. And Liverpool go to Bournemouth, where last year they came badly unstuck. Monday night, it is Everton's turn. They're at home against Swansea City. We're on air at 2200 Mecca. Tony Pulis will be with Andy and myself again. Congratulations to Real.
But we know what he's doing.
So it's an example of knowing the laws but not the game.
Yeah, a little bit like that. But they got away with that. That was 2 very naughty tackles.
But we have to congratulate City once again on another stunning performance. We will, of course, in a moment, as well as looking back on what else has happened in the Premier League today. Ways of looking at this. Didn't they do today that you would have expected them to?
Well, again, like I said, we talk about Man City and all the passing and this, that and the other. Second half, when City's goalkeeper got the ball, and he didn't have it that many times, Tottenham pressed on, and the number of times he kicked it long and missed that press out, and then they played from there. And I think what City did, City were cleverer today. They actually moved the ball, allowed Tottenham to come on to him, move the ball quickly through it, and had runners.
Use Harry Kane from criticism tonight. I really would. I thought he did everything he could. He worked really, really hard. But the 3 that were supporting him, Son, Ali and Gerriksen, I've not seen the 3 of them play as poorly as that in one game.
Well, you spin it round and have a look at Man City's 3.
Yeah.
And then compare them to Tottenham's 3, and that was the difference really.
You talk about they dominated them in respect that whenever the ball went into either of those players, they lost possession of it. And as soon as they lost possession, City are back through you.
Yeah.
And you can't afford to turn the ball over in that manner as many times as Spurs did in the game and not suffer, because that was exactly what City are looking to do. They nullified Spurs' threat and they countered every time Tottenham turned over possession of the ball.
Let's go and join Matt Critchley, who's got some reaction for us again. Okay, yeah. 1, City supreme, Tottenham poor. So let's concentrate on City, Tony, first of all, shall we?
Yeah, I thought they were fantastic. I really thought there was going to be a difficult game for them today, but their approach to the game and their attitude, not just with the ball but off the ball as well, the willingness to work as a group and as a team. And as I've said, every time they turn you over, they're off and running. They've got people wanting to run in behind you, people forcing you back all the time, and they play so quickly. They're a fantastic team, and they've proved again today they're going to take some stopping.
I think it was a massive statement. I mean, a massive statement to the rest of the league. That if there was any thought that they're taking the foot off the pedal, or they might be slipping, or this period might just test them, I think they blew all that out the water today. I thought they were terrific. They were magnificent today. As bad as Spurs were, and I have to say I haven't seen it.
Yeah, let's leave that out for a moment. Let's just drool over City, shall we?
The funny thing is they get a goal from just lack of concentration at the back from Spurs. It's the first corner of the match. Yeah. They never looked like they had got themselves organised, and they're 1 down against City before they know it. And it was always
that set the tone of the game.
Yeah,
really. knock Tottenham back and give City a lift.
See, that's what Tony's talked about. Harry Kane's miscontrolled the ball. One pass straight through the middle, 2 passes there,
but
4 passes, and they've got 100 yards. They've got 100 yards and 4 passes.
Yeah.
There's 3 players in advance of the ball.
Yeah.
So they've got 3 options. The first pass here is forward. So now they're turning Spurs round. And then, again, you look, when the ball's played square, there's 3 players in advance of the ball. So there's 3 options to play into. It's scintillating football.
And that's off that left ankle, which 5 minutes earlier could have been broken.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of very, very good performances from City players.
Yeah.
There was a lot of poor performances from Spurs players. But when you see City play in that manner, you can see why they're doing what they are to teams.
Again, giving the ball away, dire mistake.
A bit of simulation.
No, I think
I don't think there was much in that tackle.
I think his momentum takes him through the groin up.
He's left his leg, hasn't he? Where's the contact? There.
Yeah.
I think,
Didn't really matter, did it?
well, it didn't matter.
But this is just like
Where's the line?
Benteke. He hadn't scored for ages, Jesus, to give him a penalty. But at least it's 2-0 when he takes his.
And then the follow-up.
Yeah, Raheem.
Sterling could have had
He could have had that trick. He could have 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
had
Raheem.
a lot of chances.
Yeah, it could have had 3 or
Could
4.
have been far worse than the 4-1 scoreline suggests.
Well, it could have been 4-1 with Tottenham down to 9,
Again?
justifiably.
Tottenham have easy possession.
That was one of the biggest disappointments for me about Tottenham not retaining possession of the ball. And again, look at the run of Sane in front of the ball, in advance of the ball. Turn it over, play forward and run forward. Again, 3 players in advance of the ball. The ball's played forward. Sterling does really well in that situation for me. He just checks his run to stay level to score his goal. Forward ball, yes, it's a
Getting behind
mistake,
the back four.
but stretching people, getting behind defenders.
And this was another one that came from Tottenham having possession in the last third. And
Tony, let's deal with Tottenham then now. What started Clive, have they?
No, they haven't, Richard. They've played too deep. They've not moved the ball forward quick enough. They've invited the pressure on. City in possession have been at times devastating, and it has been Spurs' performance of recent weeks. And unfortunately, you can't play against Manchester City in that way, and they've paid a price. And they've paid a price in I think, a really poor way, conceding the goal at a corner.
The importance of set pieces, eh, Tony?
Yeah, Son just switches off, to be honest. And I don't think Ali covers himself in much glory there as well. You know, if he's looking after that space, looks as though he has to look after that space. He's got to attack that pole. But I just think the whole game revolves around, Tottenham's attitude, their attitude to want to play off the goalkeeper, their own goalkeeper, has forced Man City on top of them. And once City get that ball in there, in your half of the pitch, they've got players who win the game. Yeah. You've got Ali, you've got Song, you've got Eriksen. You've not seen them hardly at all.
So what are you saying? Just get it launched quicker?
I don't think you want to launch it. I just want to play some quality into Kane. I think I feel sorry for Kane. He's up there by himself. We've got a game where City are playing forward and running forward. Tottenham are playing backwards, square, sideways. Yeah. I don't know whether they're trying to prove a point that they can play as well as Man City, but it's not doing them any favours at all. They're the top team, Tottenham, and they're excellent when they go forward. But in this first half, they've done nothing but try and play backwards, square and sideways.
Point of interest. So much to squeeze in here. Point of interest. Was this a push?
yes.
And should it have been a penalty?
Well, I know what you're going to say, because this is Craig Pawson, the referee, who gave a push on Calvert-Lewin in the Merseyside derby against Lovren. And he laughs that one off, but that is a push. The only difference for me is that Mangala does him a favour, Danny Rose, by staying on his feet. Now, had he fallen to the ground, it might well have made Craig Pawson take a different view of it, but you cannot do that in the penalty area.
The point you make is correct. It's Craig Pawson. It's the same referee that gave this one last week, which was contentious for Jurgen Klopp.
That's less of a push than
But was
than Danny Rose's.
Danny Rose,
and I thought that was a penalty.
Danny Rose has
there you
used
go.
2 hands. Yes, Lovren makes contact with Calvert-Lewin, but immediately he goes down. If Mangala falls forward and that ball goes over his head, Craig Paulson's got a big decision to
Massive
make.
decision.
Yeah.
Massive decision. But the one thing which is about Spurs, when you look at the stats as well, Richard, they'll say that it's almost 50-50. But they're poles apart in what they've done with the possession.
Yeah.
That's the difference for me. I bet in the almost 50% the Spurs have had, 30 or 40% of it has been round about their own penalty area.
Everybody goes on about Man City and the way they pass the ball and the way they move the ball. But what they do as well, Richard, they play through the pitch.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a contrast. You've got Arsenal that we've seen earlier today, who will take their time and take 15 passes to get up there. Man City, if it's on, it's 1 pass, 2 pass, and they've got runners all the time. As soon as they get the ball, midfield players are picking. De Bruyne, he's picking the ball up. If he looks forward, I'm telling you, there's people running in behind.
Yeah.
There's people forcing you back all the time. They're the best team in the league at doing it. Absolutely first, and it was like that at Barcelona. People talked about their possession at Barcelona, but my goodness, did they play through the pitch quick. I know they had great players, and these have got great players, but they play the game playing forward.
It's mysterious, the Etihad, and it's where being sports Matt Critchley is. Matt, what have you got for us?
Yes, hi Richard, a quick update from me at half time. I guess we have to start with the weather. Peter and Jim mentioned it in commentary there. It's fog coming in from the hills outside Manchester, descending on the stadium. I don't think it'll have any effect really on the game. Visibility is still good. We can still see the other side of the stadium, but it does look a little bit odd on camera. Pep Guardiola, known as a brilliant offensive coach, but it's the defensive side of the game which has focused in more, particularly when Manchester City don't have the ball in that first half. Fernandinho, a man-to-man marking job on Dele Alli. Every time Ali gets near the ball, he wants Fernandinho very close to him. And Leroy Sané wants him to tuck in and help out more often. He's asked Sané really to do more of a job helping out Fabian Delph on that left-hand side. And look out as well for maybe a rollicking for the goalkeeper Ederson. He gave the ball away once. Pep Guardiola did not like that at all. I think a couple of rollickings maybe for the Tottenham players at half-time as well. Harry Winks, what was he doing from the corner? Marking a zone, but he didn't move. And also Danny Rose, I know he's been out of football for a while with injury, but an underwhelming performance from him in that first 45 minutes. Maybe interest from Manchester United taking him to Old Trafford in January, but not on the evidence we've seen here so far today.
7 points from 9 for West Ham, and they're into 15th after a